Good morning, everyone. Back again as promised. This is Mary, also known as Sunny Love, talking about things that have changed my life since writing Robbed of a Childhood Raped by the System. And as I said, I started out reading from the book, but I decided I wouldn't keep going because it gets pretty heavy. And sometimes we have learned how to process the traumatic things that have happened in our own lives, but not everyone has yet had that. I call it a privilege or honor or been graced with having someone there to talk to about some of the things that happened to us. Today I chose for a topic why I keep showing up after 28 years of service, of ministry. I've been doing this work for over 28 years, 17 years sitting and gleaming at the feet of one pastor, and then 7 years with another pastor who released me to co-pastor a church for 4 years. And then after I left that, I did 7 years online Facebook ministry without asking for tithes, without asking for financial offering, but I do ask for an offering. I ask that we offer ourselves up to a better way of living, be honored with the things that should be just given to us, because we came into this world, each and every one of us, with a measure of faith. That little mustard seed that was so tiny that one day I talked to the seed and I said, Lord, for me, I said, the person who spoke to me in my car today doesn't really know me the way some of you know me. And I said, Lord, I got this much faith. I know I have as much faith as this little mustard seed. And you told me if I would speak to that mountain or that barrier that was in my life, it would be removed. You would cast it into the midst of the sea. And I believe that. And ever since that moment of belief was sparked, I said, I have to tell someone else that I've changed. I'm different. I'm not the way I once was. And everyone who knows me from many years prior know I have not went back into the life I once lived, a life I was shamed of many times. And I said, I've been doing restorative work and trauma responsive care and circles of healing for so many years. It's over 20 years of doing that work too, and most of it was free. But it's really not free when a life changes and someone else takes on a new journey. And you get to watch that journey and sometimes walk with some of them through it for 10, 12, 15 years. And they're still walking for it. I know you can do it too. I'm in the business I call healing. And healing is yours for the taking, for the asking, when we know how to ask. It says men ought always pray and not faint. And don't let the sun go down while we're yet still angry. If we have an ought against a sister or brother, we can go speak to those brothers or sisters on our own. And if that doesn't work, we can take a friend with us or take someone to be there to kind of mediate the conversation. I've learned mediation. I sat in those courtrooms and different community meetings, bridging gaps between people who sometimes had forgotten how to talk to each other. They were screaming. And I said, you know what? We can stop screaming at one another. We can be respectful. I'm not a judge, a jury, or prosecuting attorney, but I am here to make sure we're respectful of one another. I've been in rooms where too many people have been hurting silently and didn't believe they had a voice to speak up. And when I found my voice, I said, let me share with others. how I got my voice back. Because I believe everyone deserves a chance to rise again. I've been pouring my heart into a world to ask it to keep going, to ask them to never give up on themselves, to ask them to just know you can get through this day. And each and every day, if we do it with a plan in mind, it changes things. We are living in a time where people are breaking down faster than the system serving them, faster than those are able to go out and find resources to connect to that will help them pay for those services. My work restores the emotional and the spiritual and the relational core of people who have been harmed, overlooked, and dismissed. Some people don't even want to sit in the same room with. But I sat in those rooms and I learned and I gleaned and I got so much more than I was giving. I thank you for each and every one of you who have subscribed, who have liked, who have been with me through this walk in these conversations. I ask that you make comments sometimes, that if you have things going on and you believe I could share a word or two, I'm here to do that. Please like, please subscribe, and please share this message with someone else who might be in need as well. It's a brighter day, and tomorrow will be even better. I will see you then. Have a great day.